the sayings and the words of Jesus the Christ, or Isa the Masih, as he's called in India. He's called Isa the Messiah. So he is our mystic master today. For me personally, because I was not born into Christianity as a faith, I am free of the conditionings that come with a faith when you're born into it, right? So when I hear the words of Jesus Christ, I receive his words with the intention that was so inherently deposited into those words, minus all of those conditionings. Like I said, we have to see him in a certain way or take those words literally, as sometimes it's been done through the ages. So I invite you to just receive the message, and anything that doesn't resonate with you, you can toss out. You're welcome to do that. But anything that does reach your heart, save it, keep it in your internal inbox. This is from Matthew 7. Jesus said unto his disciples, Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. In everything that I find in modern day Christianity, or even some people that I encountered early on in my life who, very lovingly tried to pray for me or probably wanted me to convert over to Christianity. It was very sweet and pleasing to see their faith in wholehearted. They believed in this thing that said, only if I receive Jesus the Christ as my Lord and Savior will I ever enter heaven. So when I read words like these, which is in direct contradiction to that belief. So he says, Not everyone who said unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. First of all, let's check in for you. What does heaven mean? See if you can pop in a few words in the comment section. What does heaven mean to you? Just take a moment and gather your thoughts. It's important to know what the ultimate goal for you is, for your soul, if you are trying to reach it, right? So what does heaven look like to you? What feels like heaven to you? What's the kingdom of God? Let's interpret his words carefully. Maybe sometimes you can find what heaven feels like by observing what does not feel like heaven, what feels like hell, what would be the opposite of that. So Asya says, acceptance of myself, heart and soul of sound, which Sally says, heaven is when I'm having a blissful day. For me, it feels anytime I am separate from belonging or surrounded by that source spirit, its presence, when I cannot feel its presence, to me that is hell. To me that is the opposite of heaven. But when I feel I'm floating in it, when I feel connected to it directly, when I feel I'm guided by it, when I feel no sense of separation from it, it feels like heaven to me. So he says, just by saying, Lord, Lord, you will not get into heaven, the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father. What is the will of the Father, and who is the Father? Is it some old guy with a white beard sitting in heaven? Your spirit which is all permeating. Everything came out of the spirit. Every leaf, every plant, every creature, every planet, every solar system, the entire cosmos, from an ant to you, your child, your dog, your cat, your parrot, everything was created from that all-permeating spirit. So in in simpler terms, to create a tangible imagery in people's minds, the words that were used were my Father. If you respect me, then you would absolutely respect my Father. You can't see it, but there is a kingdom that my Father has. And if you want to enter that kingdom, that space of heaven, if you want to feel that space of oneness with it, if you want to come home to it, then follow its will. Now, the next question the mind poses, what is its will? Don't you say that? Just tell me what you want and I'll do it. But that is not true. Your soul, right, the little drop of that spirit that resides within you, that is always guiding you, is constantly transmitting to you what its will is. In the words of Guru Nanak, he uses the word hukum. It's the same thing. Follow the directive of the soul step by step. In each moment, there's a clear directive. And for each one of us, that is unique. It's not the same. And I think that's one place where most religions get misinterpreted. I wish some of these masters would have said very clearly to us that for each one of us, what that call, that will of the Father is, the will of the Spirit is unique and different. But because we don't have that awareness, we make this singular list of what it means to be pure, what it means to be pious, and we follow that. We think if we do all those things, then that must be the will of the Father. But listen to this. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? So that's what I mean by this list of piousness. What we have established culturally, socially, religiously, right? As what does it mean to be good? What will get me the ticket into heaven? And the ego is sitting right there all along. And ego's goal is to make life comfortable for us. Anything that makes us uncomfortable, our ego disengages the mind from that. It says, no, that must not be it. So, what's a simpler way? What if I go to church once a week and pray? What if I cast out the devil? Is that what he said? Yeah, cast out the devils. Maybe I don't use bad words. Maybe I don't drink. Maybe I don't smoke. Maybe I don't engage in bad habits. Would that be it? Would that get me into heaven? But let's keep checking in. Let's check into your praying. How much of your prayer is simply asking for something you don't have yet? How much of your prayer is begging? Please make this happen. Please give me this. If you give me this, then I promise to be good. So most of your prayers, if you pay attention, is a negotiation, isn't it? It's not really prayer. But you negotiate. I will prophesy in thy name. I will make sure more and more people know about you. Your glory is sung. Maybe I'll cast out the devils. And then I'll do all these wonderful works in your name. You know, in the mystic version of Indian philosophy, we have the word karma and dharma. I'll do good karmas every day. So I will increase my bank balance of good karmas, and maybe that'll get me the ticket to heaven. So if that was the case, how many people do you think should be in heaven right now? Or should feel heavenly as they're existing? And why do you think all these religious people, all across the globe, there's so many religions, and everyone's trying to be good. Why are they not at peace? Why are they not in bliss? Like Sally said, being in bliss is heaven. Why is that not their experience? Isn't that a good practical question to ask? Then I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work inequity. Iniquity, I believe. That's how the word is pronounced. And I believe it means manipulation or wickedness or selfishness. So when he uses the word I, it's not him as a person. Jesus in that state of consciousness was simply becoming a tangible physical reflection of the soul itself, the spirit itself. It says, then I tell them, I actually never know you. I don't know you. You've never come close to me. You've never really heard what I want you to do, what I want to experience through you in this life. Have you known your spirit? The only way to know the spirit is to listen to it and follow through on what it is asking you to do. And most of the time, what it asks you to do seems very impractical. It asks you to go against the grain of your conditioning. I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work in iniquity. So you have to understand that being a human unto itself has no meaning. Meaning is usually extracted, it's derived, it's juiced out from the opportunities that our unfolding circumstances present to us. Now, to extract these opportunities, to even become aware of these opportunities that the soul is planting in our unfolding circumstances, it takes a significant amount of vigilance, a certain level of awareness and presence and quietness of the mind to know, why am I facing this situation? What's here for me? And usually you draw a blank. I don't hear anything. Why am I in such suffering? Why am I lonely? Why am I not loved? So however that unfolds for you. So to be able to sit there long enough and say, have that faith that if I have this moment of life, that means soul is behind it. And if the soul is behind it, it cannot be for nothing. And to say, I'm going to receive what it says, even if it means to sit in the discomfort of not liking where I am, is a surrender, is a bowing to what the soul is wanting to experience. Our soul cannot and does not distinguish between pain or pleasure, comfort or discomfort. Those are the things that we experience in our egoic self, we experience in a binary mind. So if the soul is saying, just sit in the discomfort of the situation, and if you sit there long enough, the meaning, the lesson will show up for you. Even if it means I need to sit with this discomfort because I need to break through a deep set belief system or a deep habit of running away from my discomfort. Even if that's all it's asking, do that. Each time you do that, you get closer to the soul. So when he says, depart from me, I don't know you. And that is the shocking thing to most people when they encounter life after being so pious and good, and then encounter some life challenges, and then they're very bewildered, like, how could God do that to me? I thought I was on your team. I thought I did everything you asked for. But not really. You only did what your mind and your ego created as a list. And in the comfort of that list, you say, I am good. And the ego is very smart. It's very sophisticated. to break the bondage of our attachments, to break the bondage of our habits, is extremely uncomfortable to the ego. And that is why I marvel at what it's done, how it's created religiosity or spirituality in our mind. We think if we go to church once a week or special occasions, bow our head once in a while, go to visit all these ancient churches and temples, and that would label me as spiritual. But that is the wickedness he's talking about. We are wicked, we are manipulated, we even manipulate spirit. Like I said, even in our prayer, we are negotiating. But prayer is surrender. I am here at your feet. Show me what you want me to do. That is prayer. Prayer is surrender. And the more you surrender, the more the Spirit appears. The more you disappear, the more the Spirit appears. The farther you get from your own preconceived notions, your beliefs, your attachments, your masks, your comfort, the farther you move away from that, the closer you come to the Father in heaven. And then he says, therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken them unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. So listen to the words carefully. Whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them. There's two things here. Same thing that Guru Nanak says as well. Two very important ingredients for manifesting the life, a heavenly life, a blissful life. Listen to what that Father, that guide, the Spirit within you is saying. Listen. Don't just make up your own stuff and start following it. Listen to that unique directive that's coming just for you. Maybe not for your daughter, not for your mother, not for your father, just for you. Listen. Then, second piece, and does them, follows through on them. Now that is where our co-creativeness comes in. We are not the creator of our destiny. We can say we are the co-creators of our destiny only if we listen and follow through on the directive of the soul. Then we can manifest that life of peace and bliss. That, he says, I will liken him unto a wise man. That is wisdom, who has built his house upon a rock. What is your house? Your life, isn't it? Your existential experience. That is where you live. That is where your consciousness lives. That is how you perceive life. Have you built your home on the rock-solid foundation of self-knowing? Each time you practice listening and then following through, no matter how hard it is, no matter what you have to break, what attachments you have to undo, what habits you have to undo, how many masks you have to peel off. Each time you do that, you begin to build that solidity within yourself. Like I said, life as it unfolds offers us opportunities. It's studded with opportunities. And each time we are willing to take that opportunity, no matter how difficult, we build a sense of self-knowing, an ability within ourselves to say, if I have done this before, then I can do this again and again and again and again. And each time we do, we start to feel solid within ourselves. We start to feel this internal foundation that is unshakable, no matter what life brings our way. in knowing that whatever comes is coming from the kingdom of heaven. It's still coming from the Father. It's still coming from the Spirit. So why do we deny or criticize some things? Why can't we say they're all coming from the same place? So hallelujah, Vaheguru. I receive them as they are. Whatever is showing up, I bow to that. I surrender to that. And in that surrender, I listen and know what my next step is. That is a really wise way of living your life. There's no hustling or hassling. The ups and the downs, the hopes and the disappointments, the fantasies, none of that. We simply are in flow with what is. That, to me, is heaven, where there's no anxiety, there's no unease. The ego is always driven by comfort. Each time we unsubscribe from the guidance of the ego and say, thank you for your input, ego, but let me listen to what the soul is saying. And I'm not saying that the soul is opposed to comfort. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes the things that feel difficult to you, you will find yourself giving those up very easily. But sometimes in order to listen to the will of the soul, to get to that place, that goal, that destination that it wants to manifest in your life, you have to pick yourself up from your straps and you have to say, whatever is your will is what I do, whatever it takes. We have to say, they say in the yogic terms, and there's a beautiful saying, you have to cut your head off and place it on your palm and then walk the path of love, which means simply have to undo your subscription to your mind's belief system, no matter what it says to you about you. I can do this. This is too difficult. I can't get up in the morning and do sadhana. I can't sleep in early. There's so many can'ts. Cut that off. Unsubscribe from it. Place it on your palm, like I'm keeping my eye on you, but I'm walking by the guidance of my heart. That is what it takes to do over and over and over and over. That is how you create the conviction. The conviction is not given, the conviction is created. The willpower is created by us, for us. It cannot be given to us by anyone. And by doing that over and over, that solidity that builds inside of us is the rock that he's talking about. Now I've built my life on a rock. It's unshakable. And the rain descended, he says, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. If this is what it takes, would you do it? Or would you settle for hell? Your pain, your agony, your hatred, your judgment, your biases, the opinions that are always flopping this way or that way, the anger, the upset, the traumas, that's all hell. And we all have a choice in the matter. Where do you want to create your life? On sand, which is always moving, or on a solid rock? And that choice is always ours. Always. So I leave you with that thought today. Make your choice in every moment. Every moment is available to you. Even if you can't make it in this moment, there's the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You have many, many moments. You've been gifted those moments till the end of your life. And wherever you wake up, that's when your morning starts. That's when your day starts. May you begin that journey of creating that solid sense of self-awareness, that solid connection to the Spirit today.